Good morning, Mark Honlock, Director of Horticulture here at Green Bay Botanical Garden, showing off these luscious locks, as well as, the display garden of the American Hemerocallis Society at Green Bay Botanical Garden, aka Daylilies. That Hemerocallis is just the scientific name for the daylilies. So, guess what? It is the peak bloom of our Daylily Display Garden here at Green Bay Botanical Garden, thanks to the Bay Area Daylily Society, Bad Buds. They help us maintain this garden. So I wanted to show it off to you because it's a great time to come and visit it and learn a little bit about daylilies. First thing, they're easy to grow, good plant for every gardener, beginning gardener, and as you get into it, you could become a collector of daylilies. Our sign here is actually outdated slightly. I read an article in the journal Sentinel 2 Sundays ago about the fact that there are now 80,000 different daylilies, so almost one for every person in the city of Green Bay, practically. So this sign is really cool because it shows you the different forms of daylilies and the different daylily colors. So you can see, and you can see in real life here, the different colors of the yellows, the oranges, the pinks, the kind of purpley mauve ones, the red ones even, and then the different blends of colors. So it's kind of interesting to see it, and it allows you to kind of pick different ones to go with different plants you might already have in your garden. So you can either really get into it and have a big collection, or you can intersprinkle the daylilies amongst your other perennials in your garden. So a couple of things to know about them though. So they do have this really, grass-like texture, which is nice actually because it adds a different look in the garden if you're mixing it with other perennials with bolder, foliage. And then it's named daylily. Well, guess what? It only lasts one day. So that's why they call it that. So you can either kind of like knock these flowers off or prune them off, but it's kind of like a little thing you want to do every day to clean them up and to keep them looking good. A little zen-like experience.
So Mark, when you say it only lasts a day, it means a bud on a daylily flower only lasts a day.
No, the flower opening lasts a day. Yep, the buds you can see are here and they're going to be a while before they get big enough to open. But once it opens, then it only lasts a day. The flower, the bud lasts longer. Okay. And then if we go over here, you're going to see they call this the flower scape, where all these flowers are on top of. So once it's done, this one's been done a while, you want to actually prune that off, down to the ground to kind of clean up the daylily. And you can also, clean up any of the foliage that just dried and died to kind of clean them up. And of course we need to weed our bed here. Daylilies do have like a few diseases to look out for. The Daylily Society has a really good website to check out, to get more information about daylilies, and they have information about all the different cultivars, so it's really a great place. The other thing I wanted to point out about daylilies though is they do prefer full sun. So that's when they do their best and have their most flowers. And you can see we have a bed here that was planted, and then this ash tree grew kind of big. So we talked about moving that this year, but with everything going on, we haven't had a chance. But you can see they're still growing. They get sun in the morning and they're still blooming, but they're not thriving as much as they are in the full sun here. So I just want to show you a couple more kind of funky ones, because there is a miniature one that I can't find up there, but we used to have called cheese weasel. So that was pretty cool. They have a lot of really interesting names, these daylilies. Some slightly inappropriate, if I may say so myself. But another thing I wanted to show you is this daylily here is kind of cool. And what I learned about this daylily is that it's really a good one to grow a Kentucky Fried Chicken. And that is because they call this stuff chicken fat. Or sometimes they call it teething or teeths or shark teeth, I think, as well. But I remember learning it as chicken fat, so I think that's kind of funny, so I always like to point that out. I'm pretty sure it's true. And then I just want to show you this other one back here. So another thing about the daylilies that I kind of find interesting are these ones here that have this crazy form. And I call them UFOs, unidentified flowering objects. But they're really called something else. What is it, Rachel?
Unusual form.
Yeah, they're really called unusual forms, but I like UFO better personally, just because it sounds crazy. But you can see there are a whole bunch of different ones, the different formed ones, the small ones, the bicolored ones. The newest thing is this water marking in them. So they're really quite unique and sometimes taken for granted because they're such a common plant, and really available. But they're a really great gateway plant for people to get going in gardening because they're easy to grow, and then you can see again that they have all these different looks to them that you can incorporate and start to really get into. So if you want to learn more about daylilies, come and check out our collection here at Green Bay Botanical Garden. Check into the website of the Bad Buds and check into the Daylilies website, or check out our website for information. That is gbbg.org, or check us out on Facebook.